Guys, another Adonis review. Today, in the opening of Fallout's huge success on Amazon, I thought I'd go into the Fallout 4 VR game. It's one of the first games I actually bought after getting a Quest and a PC. I believe you can only have this game if you have a PC and do PC VR. It's not on PlayStation VR or just on Quest standalone. But there was kind of a reason behind that. This is a huge game, even so the graphics are 2015, and they aren't even the peak of 2015 graphics. This is a massive game. Seeing Skyrim get done when that game came out in 2011, even that's impressive. The scope of it being put into VR. So let's kind of go into what to expect if you were thinking of getting into Fallout and doing it with VR. Since it is so huge nowadays. So the first thing to kind of take into consideration, no matter what, when you're thinking about if you should buy a VR game and what to consider, is that any VR games that are traditionally normal games that are huge, and even so, maybe Fallout 4 wasn't the most beloved Fallout game compared to New Vegas. It still was a good game overall. And that is the negative with most VR games, is typically they're like tech demos where it's like you should just be happy if the game is somewhat good. So when you have a game that is acclaimed and then it gets converted into VR, it's pretty much a no-brainer that you should go out and get it. With that being said, like I said, I think Skyrim VR is a must-play game, and that got converted from a 2011, Skyrim game. And this game came out in 2015, the same year as The Witcher. So that makes the graphics better. You get a wider variety of weapons in this game, which is fun to do in VR. Pistols and melee weapons, rifles, snipers, things of that nature. Not all things are converted perfectly over. I personally don't like the way they have you kind of select talking points and whatnot. I don't think it was perfectly adapted into VR. But in general, especially compared to the scope, it's definitely not going to hinder the game at all. The graphic overall doesn't look that bad. It's actually pretty good, again, especially considering the scope of the game. The most negative in the graphics category would be character models and whatnot. But even in the scope of VR, it's not that bad compared to other games, which are 1/10 as good, having just a shitty graphics. This game, has an amazing story, even if it doesn't give you the full consequences of decisions as the previous ones might. You get all the DLC, all the add-ons of this game, and you get to play all of it in VR. You get to wear the power armor suit, you get to hold the guns, you get to hold the melee weapons, you get to travel across the land with companions like the dog or the robot or women or men you meet along the way. Find your perks, lock picking. All of this is kind of wrapped up in a bow, and it's not usually an unreasonable price. I'm not sure if the standard price is $40. I know that typically it is on sale, and you probably get it on sale for $20, which is a fair deal. Unfortunately, like I said, this is a PC game, PC VR game. Getting it on Steam, for example, is how most people normally would go about it. So it's not unlocked to everybody. But I would say this is up there with the games, again, that you should probably first aim to buy when you are going into PC VR territory, with Half-Life Alyx, for example. So, is it the best mod I've ever seen? The way it's been converted? No, it's not as well done as Resident Evil, but it's done well enough to allow you to shoot and gameplay and travel and do everything well enough, and it converts this, award-winning story into modern day. Again, and the only negative being that this game is hundreds of hours, which is tough to pull off, even if it wasn't in VR. So keep that in mind. But beyond that, I'd say if you have the opportunity to play it, I'd for sure go for it. Especially now that Fallout's so big, to get, virtually in this world that you saw on the show, it's worth the try, I would say. So, if you agree with me, and you think you should buy it, and you do buy it, let me know in the comments if you like it. If you don't, let me know why you didn't. Later, guys.